Welcome in to the award-winning RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by DraftKings, Dabble, and Sling. It is Friday, December 5th. Alex Barutha here with Shannon, McKeown, and Ken K-Train. Right?
All aboard.
Let's jump into the news. Devastating news. Actually, well, sort of from Toronto, as LeBron James' consecutive double-digit scoring streak, regular season scoring streak, ends at 1,297 games. 17 shots last night in the 123-120 win over Toronto. Ended up with the game-winning assist to Rui Hachimura. The last time LeBron scored fewer than 10 points was 2007.
How many NBA active? Yeah, you were in middle school. How many NBA active players were even anywhere near the NBA in 2007?
There's only like 30 NBA players. It's some ridiculous number who have played that many games. Like,
yeah. Good point.
Cooper Flagg was born in 2006, so for some reference there. LeBron scored 10 points in 1,297 consecutive games. Michael Jordan, second all-time with 866 consecutive double-digit scoring games. Ken, you were 70 back in 2007. What do you remember?
2007, 4 years into Vermont. I was still getting over my Cleveland Cavaliers ticket plan that I had in the late 90s, early 2000s in Cleveland. Trying to justify paying money to see a chubby Sean Kemp there at the end.
Oh, man.
But then I realized going to Vermont, you know what's worse than Cavaliers basketball live? No live NBA basketball, where the closest team is 3.5 hours away. So it was a bit of an adjustment. But, the C's were up and coming then, so I got to enjoy that ride.
I just clicked the 2006-2007 NBA season. Do you want to guess the average points per game, Shannon, in 2006-07?
102?
98.7.
I almost went with that's a good radio station. That's back in the going to work Pistons era, so it makes sense. They had like a ridiculous streak of below 80, holding opponents below 80 points for like 20 games. Absolutely absurd.
You were still getting punished for going to the basket in those days. Nothing easy.
Pistons allowed 92 points per game that season. 53 wins under Flip Saunders. Shannon, take us to the crazy Sixers win last night.
Yeah, Golden State without Curry and Butler only scored 10 points in the first quarter. Sixers were up 22 at half, but blew the lead. Edgecombe with a great putback. With 0.9 seconds left. Then down on the other side of the court, no timeouts. Maxey makes a game-saving block. Absolutely wild ending to that game. Check out the highlights if you haven't seen it yet. Draymond Green hurt his right foot in the second quarter and did not return. Ken.
And Pat Spencer, Northwestern alum, led the Warriors with 16 points off the bench. Go Cats.
The Sixers without Curry, or the Warriors without Curry, is kind of like a who knows what's going to happen out there. Like sometimes Podziemski plays well, sometimes he doesn't. I mean, Pat Spencer's actually both of the Spencers.
Kuminga still doesn't start. How about Kuminga still not starting with that lineup that they threw out there? Jeez,
who could have seen this coming, Ken? The most toxic relationship in the NBA, Steve Kerr and Jonathan Kuminga.
That's right. Guys, bad news out of Milwaukee, as everyone hopefully knows by now, but Giannis is out 2 to 4 weeks with a right calf strain. Alex and Shannon, 2 questions for you regarding Giannis's injury. First, who gets the fantasy boost for the Bucks?
In terms of players first of all, Kevin Porter Jr., who should be rostered. So if he's not, which we might talk about that later, make sure he's rostered. Sure. Other than that, in theory, Bobby Portis, in theory, Kyle Kuzma. If you need threes, Green and Trent, but it's going to be pretty ugly.
Alex,
Yeah.
you had to choose between Kuzma and Portis. Which way would you go? Because they've both been terrible.
I honestly, I don't know. I mean, if you need just like rebounds, I would feel safer with Portis. I think it's just kind of what you need. And Kuzma from a usage perspective is just safer, but to me, it's honestly a coin flip.
And for deeper formats, Jericho Sims, maybe, if you're very desperate. For whatever reason, Doc Rivers seems to like him. It does usually come at the expense of minutes for Miles Turner, though. So, but if Sims and Turner can get some floor time together, then Sims could be interesting in deep formats only.
Certainly if you need rebounds, right? All right, and then second, how does this injury affect all that Giannis trade rumor stuff, or does it?
I mean, that is so back and forth, man. It's like, oh, he met with the team. Oh, he requested a trade. No, he didn't. Brian Windhorst was saying two completely different things on two completely different shows. I don't think it affects it that much. I mean, maybe teams want to see him like step on the floor and like play a game before they trade for him. But I don't think he was going to be traded before December 15th anyway, which is when a lot of the contract negotiations open up. So to me, it doesn't affect it too much.
I don't think it affects it at all because I believe the injury is the trade rumor.
Ooh. I see Shannon.
Means.
Well, I mean, he's not injured and he's waiting to be traded in 2 weeks, around December 16th, 15th.
Little conspiracy. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. I like that sauce. All right. Well, before we dive into our fan questions, and fans, if you do have a question, please enter them into Yahoo, Facebook, and Twitter there. Alex, tell us about our good friends at Dabble.
Oh, yeah. Did we want to do injury updates before that?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. We do. Yeah. Sorry, Alex. Get us into who's hurt.
You're good. Giannis is out. Garland and Booker are also out. Questionable. We have Luka for personal reasons. His wife or his girlfriend. He's having a child. Jalen Johnson, Jimmy Butler.
He's watching someone else have a child.
Right. Jalen Johnson, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Norm Powell, Donovan Clingan, Ryan Kalkbrenner, Paul George are questionable. We have Paolo Banchero, Kristaps Porzingis, and OG Anunoby have a chance to return tonight, which is good because, man, when I flipped on the slate last night, I was like, injured guys. No one's healthy, but glad to get some high caliber players back.
And those are just the headlines. Again, go to the NBA lineups page on RotoWire for all the starting and injured info for the night.
Yep. NBA injury report, RotoWire. Type that into Google. Tell your friends to Google it. Google it every day, all the time on all your devices. Yeah, we have a word from Dabble. Dabble is not just another DFS app. It's the ultimate social platform where you can connect with other fantasy sports lovers. Dabble lets you win big. You can win up to 5,000 times your money this basketball season. Starting with Dabble is easy. New users get $25 free when signing up. No deposit necessary. Check out the link in the episode description here on YouTube to download Dabble now.
Ooh, okay, nice deal by Dabble there. Thanks to fans who queued up questions before the show even started. Let's start with P-Dub here. Good morning, guys. Good morning, P-Dub. Wanted some quick insight on who I should start tonight, Cooper Flagg or Kawhi the Claw Leonard. Of course, first check is Kawhi healthy, but
that was my first.
Yeah.
I went to the daily lineups page and saw if Kawhi Leonard was healthy. I think this is just a start for Kawhi when he's healthy. I mean, they're playing the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies have been a bit improved since Zach Edey came back. But I would rather play Kawhi Leonard against the Grizzlies than Cooper Flagg against the greatest team ever assembled, the Oklahoma City Thunder.
And their defense is not bad. Not bad for the Thunder. The turnover stats, the created turnover stats are just insane from the Thunder. There's about 1 million YouTube videos on that, but my goodness. Yeah, I don't want to play anyone facing the Thunder.
No.
All right, let's Shannon, why don't you take this one from Bruce. Cam Johnson or Bobby Portis rest of season, 2 underachievers. Who do you think has a better chance of turning things around?
I'm going with Cam Johnson. He's already shown some signs of life since Christian Brown hit the shelf with an injury. Bobby Portis does receive a bump with Giannis out, but like Giannis, Bobby Portis, especially if the Bucks move Giannis, guess who's the next guy up who's going to be moved? It's Bobby Portis. It's Kyle Kuzma. He's not going to be benefiting from Giannis leaving Milwaukee because I don't think he stays there if Giannis leaves. So with it being a short-term injury for Giannis, I'm sticking with Cam Johnson. It is fairly close. If for whatever reason you are desperate for rebounds, then you can do Bobby Portis. But rest of season, still going with Cam Johnson.
All right, Alex, will you help Superfan Wemby13 out with this next question? He wants to know, would you trade Zach Edey for Kyshawn? Oh, and Kyshawn George for Amen Thompson?
I think I would, but if it's a deep league, I would think harder about it because like I think Kyshawn George and Zach Edey are guys you would start every week in like a 14 or a 16 teamer. And the thing about Kyshawn is like maybe he's not playing that well right now or relative to how he, began the season. But that February trade deadline, Middleton's going to be gone. McCollum's going to be gone. There's going to be a lot of usage available for Kyshawn. So this is close.
Do the Wizards get a taker for Middleton? I mean, is Middleton playing well for?
He actually, his past like 5 or 6 games have been fine. Like he's
looked awful last night. He looked just terrible last night.
He still got his points though.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that much.
Unlike a third of a knee, he's got 1/3 of the knee left.
No, it's possible. It's possible those guys get waived and then
bought out.
Buyout situation.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, thank you, Alex. And let's see, Charlie Hammer wants to know is Zach is Jaden Ivey a smart ad for later in the season? Shannon, is this like a cousin of yours?
I tell you what, in a 14-teamer, I believe so. Ivey, production hasn't been great since he's returned from injury. But I have liked what I've seen. I think he's going to round into shape. Currently averaging 8 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 14 minutes per game coming off the bench. He's only up to 19 minutes. So we're looking at it and we're thinking, okay, how much is this guy going to grow? Is his role going to expand from here? And I believe it will. So 19 minutes against the Bucks on December 3rd. Best game since his return, nearly 25 fantasy points. I do believe, reaching the starting lineup for this Pistons team. I don't know if it'll happen because Duncan Robinson provides tons of value with his floor spacing. His passing's been solid. He's been a good fit with this Pistons team. So I believe Duncan Robinson will stick in the starting lineup. But Ivey, unless there's an injury that opens up a spot, probably going to be deployed as a 6-man. Those minutes will increase. If you're already 5-1, it's a 14-team league. I do believe he should be stashed in most 14-team leagues.
All right, and then we've got a big question from MB here. Rest of season, Alex, Giannis or Cade?
I think I'd probably rather have Cade. It feels safer.
Sure does.
I think Giannis. Obviously, he has his free throw percentage deficiencies and everything like that. It's easier to roster Cade. Cade's also putting up MVP numbers, and there's just less of a question mark. Like, I'm not too worried if Giannis gets traded that he's going to go somewhere. And I mean, he really can't be worse than a second option anywhere he gets traded. And we've seen Giannis play next to high usage players before. Like he played next to Dame, right? And he still got his numbers. So, but I would still rather have Cade.
All right, coming at you, Shannon, from Matt. Should I drop RJ Barrett or Saddiq Bey to bring on Naz Reid?
I'm going to talk about Bey in a little bit. I actually like Bey better than Naz Reid. Same for RJ Barrett. I would keep RJ Barrett and Bey, but it's close, and I'm sure Alex probably feels differently.
No, I don't actually. I'm rostering Reid in a 12-team league just because I like to have him. Unfortunately, like you're alluding to, I am a Reid fan. I like just having him available on my bench for when one of those guys gets hurt or he has a big game.
You
I mean,
guys
he's
go out
playing
for
really
coffee before day games, get a coffee
Like,
together, you and Reid.
Well, yeah. Reid was going through personal stuff at the beginning of the season, and he seems to just he's through that now and playing really well. But Bey was trying to save the team single-handedly last night. I tuned into the end of that game.
I was telling Alex this yesterday. I was cropping photos for the site. I didn't realize how buff Bey was. Was Bey buff when he was with the Pistons?
Yes.
He's like a gun show with New Orleans now. Goodness gracious. Okay. Last question from Roger. Good morning, fellas. Should I trade away Brandon Miller or Kristaps Porzingis?
What do you think, Ken?
I would wait for Porzingis to play 2 games in a row, and I would trade him because he probably won't do that again for the rest of the season. Brandon Miller also is just similarly. Let him play 2-3 games in a row, trade high. Those guys are never going to have a high game count. It's going to drive you nuts how often they're injured.
I don't know if we can make that statement about Brandon Miller yet. I mean, the fact that he's still dealing with the shoulder injury is not ideal. But it all depends on what the return is. I'm holding out hope that Brandon Miller will be able to bounce back, will get fully healthy and be able to bounce back. He certainly has tons of upside. If you can get a player with equal upside, then okay, the risk it's worth that swap. But Porzingis, I'm with you there. A couple games, dish him out.
All right, we'll sneak one more question here from Anthony. Would you guys trade Keegan Murray for Miles Turner?
I don't know, actually. I think I would rather have Turner, as crazy as that sounds, but if Giannis gets dealt, it's just more for Turner. I don't know. Keegan Murray should have a good post-February trade deadline. I don't know. This is closer, I think, than it should be, because I think I'm too hung up on the idea of Miles Turner's blocks and the fact that he could get more usage if Giannis is out. But what do you think, Shannon?
I'm keeping Keegan Murray. He's been a top 20 player on a per game basis since his return. Miles Turner's been a solid fantasy player. He's not scoring nearly as much as I thought he would with Milwaukee. And his playing time, he's still below 30 minutes per game, which is weird. I really hope that the move to Milwaukee would open up his playing time and he would average like a career high and we'd see him fully realize his potential. That's not going to happen. If he's already only playing 29 minutes per game for this team, I don't see a path where that's going to increase, especially as mentioned, Doc Rivers really likes playing Jericho Sims. Miles Turner played 20 minutes in a close game against the Pistons just a couple days ago in favor of, Jericho Sims was the guy getting those minutes. Keegan Murray, like I said, top 20 fantasy player on a per game basis so far this season. You've got DeRozan made a statement a week or so ago that this is Keegan Murray's team. I really think we're going to see the breakout from Keegan Murray.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my answer. See, that's Chan convinced me. Change my answer. I would rather have Keegan Murray.
Look how open-minded these guys are. Well, that's fabulous. Thank you for those questions, fans. Alex, please tell us about our friends at Sling.
Tired of paying for live TV you don't watch? With Sling, you can get all the live sports news and entertainment you want only when you want it. Get your hands on a Sling day, week, or weekend pass starting at just $4.99. Get over 30 of your favorite channels for the best price and stop overpaying for full-time live TV plans. Sling has a pass for any occasion. Big game tonight? Grab a day pass for just $4.99. Want a full week of live TV for one low price? Get a 7-day week pass. And for all those weekend watchers out there, you can enjoy live sports, news, and entertainment from Friday morning to Sunday night with a weekend pass. Only Sling lets you watch when you want, so you only pay for what you watch. Get live TV for the day, week, or weekend, your choice, all for a great price. Watch live TV on your terms starting at just $4.99. Sling lets you do that. Use the link below in the YouTube description to sign up today.
I'll tell you what, that weekend pass is an interesting concept for those of us working OT and stuff. That's could have used that back in the day. All right, Alex, take us to the meat of the pod.
The waiver wire. It's going to get weird this week, folks, because of next week, I should say, because of Adam Silver's baby, his precious Emirates NBA Cup. Don't you dare call it the in-season tournament. So game count's going to be weird. There's going to be there's a loser's bracket. There's a winner's bracket.
Do we have a feel for which commissioner sites count and don't count the cup games? You know what I mean?
They should all count all the games except the final.
Yep.
Okay. Right. All right.
Yep.
Thank you. And I know on ESPN when you do schedule, they don't show the cup games. It feels like
there's nothing to. It's tough because there's nothing to show, and they
Right.
might not have a placeholder situation. And
right.
I know a couple seasons ago, maybe there was some confusion about like, did some of them count? Did this count as 1 week or 2 weeks? But I think, as far as I know, most sites are on the same page with this now. But
yeah, ESPN was 1 week. I think you want to check your bracket because I'm not sure when they show the teams they're playing. I think they're not listing the cup games.
Best of luck to everybody because we can't figure it out.
I brought the pod to a screeching halt there. I'm sorry.
Yes. No, that's what. Look, that's. I think that's what the cup does. Unfortunately, there's an excitement level to podcasts and the media, and then they start talking about the cup, and it's like, well, what? So, anyway, pick up
the waiver wire.
Pick up Collin Gillespie, folks.
There you go.
A guard for the Phoenix Suns, 34% roster. We got the news that Devin Booker will be out for at least a week. Wouldn't shock me if it was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Gillespie has started 3 of the past 4 games. He is coming off a career high 28 points, and he has scored in double digits in each of the past 10 games. Hashtag LeBron. 18 points, 5 assists, 4 boards, and 1.5 steals in 31 minutes per game during that 10-game stretch. Plus, sees an 8% usage increase with Booker off the floor, translating to 23 points and 8 assists per 36 minutes. And he's 34% rostered, so go ahead and pick him up, probably even in 10-team leagues.
Last night, that 28 points was not, you could almost see it coming because his stats have been gradually improving with almost every game. I don't think that's as fluky. It's obviously because Booker's out. He's not going to have 28 points again, but scoring steady scoring and assists seem like they're going to happen.
He's really good, man. I was not the person who came up with this, but he's kind of this season's Ty Jerome. Just exactly the profile of player that he is.
I like it. All right, my top pick this week is the revolving point guard situation in Dallas. Rookie Ryan Nembhard, who is rostered in 24% of Yahoo leagues and only 15% of ESPN leagues. Nembhard appears to be the new starting point guard for the Mavs. Yes, he's the brother of Indiana Pacer point guard Andrew Nembhard. Over the past 4 games, all starts, Ryan Nembhard has posted 17 points, 7.5 assists, and 3 triples over only 17 minutes a game. Cooper Flagg has no business playing point forward. Let the rookie play his natural position at small forward and let Nembhard start. I am digging Ryan Nembhard as starting point guard for Dallas.
If we had some kind of like air horn or whatever signifier, Nembhard's the pickup of the. There you go. He's the pickup of the week. All right, moving on to mine. I'm going to start my picks off with 2 guys that should be rostered in 10-team leagues specifically, and they aren't in a lot of 10-team leagues apparently. Saddiq Bey, forward for the New Orleans Pelicans, 38% rostered on Yahoo. With Zion Williamson expected to miss the next 3 weeks, Bey will retain a heavy usage role for the Pelicans probably through Christmas. In 12 games without Zion, Bey has averaged over 31 fantasy points per contest. Saddiq Bey has started 7 consecutive games with averages of 20 points, 9 rebounds, 1.6 steals, and 1.9 3-pointers in 34 minutes per game. Bey's been a top 60 fantasy player on a per-game basis over the past week, and he's absolutely worth an add in 10-team leagues while Zion is out.
Zion's injured?
Yeah, Bey's been awesome. It's easy to forget. 55-point game under his belt. Was on a pretty good development track. He's actually a lot younger than people think.
I thought it was clever of the Wizards to stash him. when he got hurt, but then they dealt him for CJ McCollum, and it's like, what, Washington? What are you doing?
They had a vision, and you don't see it, and that's why you're here, and their general manager is there. Think about that. Jay Huff, center for the Indiana Pacers, 25% rostered on Yahoo. Huff leads the NBA in both blocks total and blocks per game at 2.3 per game and 50 total. He has started the past 4 games, but the increased role for Huff began over the past 8 games. During that stretch, he's averaging 11 points and 48% from the field, including 2.3 three-pointers, 4.6 boards, 3.1 blocks, 1.8 assists in about 24 minutes. I do not necessarily trust Huff to start and play 25 minutes a game for the rest of the season, but for right now, he has to be rostered, as pretty much anybody who's leading the NBA in any category should be rostered in fantasy. And this is more what we were projecting him for than the beginning of the season. The beginning of the season for him was really bad. I think it was just a bad stretch, and now I think he's doing what we kind of thought he would do. So, yeah, he needs to be more than 25% rostered.
I mean, that starting lineup for the Pacers for the first 2 weeks of the season was like changing every day due to crazy injuries. He's new to the squad, so it's not surprising it took him time to acclimate himself with his Pacer teammates. My second pick is, frankly, a very dull one. Julian Champagnie of the San Antonio Spurs, rostered on 14% of Yahoo leagues, 38% of ESPN. Not to be confused with his brother that's on the Wizards. Look, all the Spurs are getting more shots with Wemby out. Over the past 7 games, all start, Champagnie has delivered 13.3 points a game, 7.4 rebounds, 1.3 stocks, which are nice, and over 2.5 three-pointers. He's getting 31 minutes of run a game. He's a great free throw shooter. It is bad field goal percentage, so a little better for points leagues. But Julian, I'm suggesting, as a nice pickup.
My second recommendation for the week is Kevin Porter Jr., guard for the Milwaukee Bucks, 49% rostered on Yahoo. Porter's been on fire since returning from a 5-week absence due to ankle and knee injuries. In 3 games since his return, KPJ is averaging 23 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 3.7 three-pointers. Those averages make Porter a top 25 fantasy player on a per-game basis over the past week. He's shooting 56, 91, and 58 over that 3-game stretch. That's not going to hold, of course. Efficiency is Porter's one issue, so he might turn the ball over a lot. His field goal percentage will probably be in the low to mid 40s at the end of the day, but he is a solid 10-team option, especially while Giannis is out for the next couple weeks. KPJ, not Ryan Rollins, is the best fantasy option in Milwaukee's backcourt moving forward.
Who's more the true point guard, Alex? Rollins or KPJ for the Bucks?
KPJ. Yeah. It's just annoying. Like, it's annoying if you have Rollins on your roster because KPJ just comes in and basically stole all of Rollins' usage. I'm being hyperbolic, but it's a really sharp drop for Rollins in terms of usage when KPJ is around. Yeah, and I think the thing is, too, Rollins is a good defender. So if they can have KPJ run the offense, which he's better at anyway, or more experienced at doing, and have Rollins focus on defense, hitting some shots, running some secondary actions, it's best for the team, as if that means anything at this point.
I mean, the encouraging sign for Rollins, if you roster Rollins on your fantasy team right now, is he's still starting. They're both starting alongside each other, and they're both going to have fantasy value. I just wanted to kind of needle in to anyone who supports Ryan Reynolds, because I have KPG in multiple leagues.
I believe Ryan Reynolds is a famous actor. Ryan Rollins, the guard, for the.
Maybe next week we'll have was that Mint Mobile?
Yeah,
we'll see.
Take the call, Ken. All right, my long shot this week. Going back to the Milwaukee Bucks, AJ Green, guard, 17% roster on Yahoo. Absolutely scorching hot shooting over the past 10 games, making 4.2 three-pointers per game for 13.5 points, plus 3.6 rebounds, 2.5 assists. I am not confident that his role will increase with Giannis out. Giannis feeds him a ton of just free, easy threes. But I am very surprised that someone who's hitting 4 threes per game is only rostered in 17% of leagues. It felt like we were having these conversations last season, going back and forth. People will be like, well, I have to roster Duncan Robinson and I have to roster Sam Hauser. But now that AJ Green's hitting 4 threes per game, they're like, not interested, honestly. Don't care.
Definitely take AJ Green over Sam Hauser. I will stress that the entire show. Excellent, wise choice there, Alex. My long shot is admittedly someone I have almost like an unhealthy obsession with. I don't know why. I've mentioned him before in the show, but Dominick Barlow, two-way player for the Philadelphia Sixers, rostered in only 10% of Yahoo teams' leagues. That's why he's my long shot. I am convinced Philly would be better playing Dominick Barlow over a hobbled Paul George. Here's my comp for Barlow. Alex, you're too young to know this, but Sixers veteran Bobby Jones. Shannon, you remember Bobby Jones? Both were 6'9". Jones was nicknamed the Secretary of Defense for those glorious Dr. J Sixer teams. And Jones averaged 2.9 stocks a game over his 12 NBA seasons. Look, Barlow's on a two-way deal, which makes no sense to me, except for, he was undrafted. They got him off the scrap heap from the Spurs. Philly's got to convert him before PG hits the old folks' home. Love Dominick Barlow. I'll throw out another long shot, too. Maxime Reynaud, rookie for the Sacramento Kings. He's getting some run with Domantas Sabonis out until late September. Reynaud is center for the Kings. If you really need some center play, he's a nice stopgap, too.
Nice recommendation, Ken. Yeah, I've loved watching Bobby Jones as a 2-year-old when he was in his prime. He made his last All-Star game.
On the black and white with the rabbit ears.
Never forget. All right, our last recommendation, final long shot of the week, Kyle Filipowski, center for the Utah Jazz, 20% rostered. Filipowski earned a spot start Thursday, finishing with 15 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 threes in 31 minutes. Filipowski's minutes were already trending upward prior to Thursday's game, as he saw 29 in 31 minutes in the 2 previous games off the bench. Nurkic is not the long-term answer as center for the Utah Jazz, whether it's trade or injury or just inefficiency. I believe Nurkic will eventually be banished from the Jazz's starting 5. And once that happens, Filipowski will be the man. We already know Walker Kessler's out. They're going to lean into their younger guys as the season wears on. There's going to be some peaks and valleys, but Filipowski, he averages across the board production. As I mentioned it, from his game on Thursday night, you've got steals, you've got threes, points, rebounds, assists. He is a very good passer. I expect him to continue to see close to 30 minutes, whether it's off the bench, in the lineup, and I think he's worth a stash in 12 and 14 team leagues.
Yeah, the minutes are really what you need, because like you said, he can stuff the stat sheet, but he just needs to get the time, and he will. Also, you mentioned, Nurkic, not the long-term answer. February trade deadline. Not that they have a lot of guys to trade, but good add of Filipowski.
Well, Alex, I believe it's time soon for our DraftKings Pick 6, and I think we have a video from our good friends at DraftKings.
Our partners at DraftKings Pick 6 have a deal you don't want to miss. New DraftKings customers, this one's for you. When you play $5 or more on your first paid Pick 6 entry, you'll get $50 in Pick 6 credits. That's right. Play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits to lock in your picks and take your shot at big wins. Just use the link in the episode description below to sign up and start playing. If you've been thinking about trying Pick 6, now's the time to get in. Just use that link in the description below to sign up, and all new DraftKings customers can play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Let's build some lineups. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 8887897777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Ends January 25th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. See the full terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. Sponsored by DK.
All right, let's talk some Friday DFS / Pick 6. This is a 12-game slate this Friday. The highest over-under, 241.5, courtesy of the Miami Heat at the Orlando Magic. As always, for the main injuries on tonight's slate, check the RotoWire NBA injuries page or the RotoWire NBA starting lineups page. I'm going to kick things off with someone that we talked about earlier in the show on the waiver wire segment, which was Kevin Porter Jr. More than 20.5 points against the 76ers. The Sixers are on a back-to-back. They got that crazy win last night. They're going on the road to face Milwaukee, who is at home. Giannis is out. And the 76ers give up a ton of points to pick-and-roll ball handlers. I know it's a little niche, but that is what Kevin Porter Jr. is doing for this team. Ryan Rollins actually had a great game against Philly a week or two ago. So I think it's going to be KPJ's time against this 76ers team, which should have tired legs.
I love that pick. My first Pick 6 recommendation is Zach Edey, 25.5 points plus rebounds. The Grizzlies' big man is averaging 36 P+R over his past 4 games. He's turning into an absolute stat-stuffing monster. I like the matchup. I'm leaning more for Zach Edey tonight on the P+R.
Edey is the man. I don't know. I don't know how to put it any other way. But he's played fantastic. My next one, look, the Chicago Bulls are falling apart. They're 9-12, but they have played horribly lately. These teams, Indiana and Chicago, played about a week ago and ended up being a really close game. Jay Huff made some good plays down the stretch, but I'm taking Pascal Siakam more than 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Pretty much the definition of a stat stuffer Pascal Siakam is. The worry with him is always like, is Indiana going to be playing in a competitive basketball game? And this should be a competitive basketball game. This game is the Bulls are only favored by 4.5 at home against this Indiana team, and they just give up a ton of stats. Like the Bulls play fast and are not a good defense. So I think Siakam's in a good position tonight.
Nice. I like that suggestion as well. My second Pick 6 rec is Josh Hart. Hart is averaging 27 points plus rebounds over the past 6 games. This comes with caveat, though. It depends on OG Anunoby's availability. If Anunoby sits again, I think it's an easy more for me on Josh Hart. Otherwise, if Anunoby's rolled in, receives a start, I'll probably just fade Hart for any of his Pick 6 options.
Who you got in DFS, Shannon?
Yeah. For DFS, I mean, KPJ is where I started building my lineup. He's just been so good. His price is right. He's 6,600 on DraftKings for tonight's slate. Zach Edey, it's got to be mentioned again. He's been an absolute beast. He's 7,400. He's basically a walking 40 fantasy points right now with upside for much more. Because he can grab so many rebounds. He can go out there and block 5 shots. So I like Edey quite a bit at 7,400. Bobby Portis, 5,400. Like we discussed, Giannis is out. Someone's going to have to step up for the Bucks. Portis is a little bit cheaper than some of the other options in their front court. And then I can't believe this hasn't been mentioned yet in today's episode. Austin Reeves had the most ridiculous game last night. Again, and you know, Luka was out. Luka's been out for 4 games this year, and in those 4 games, Austin Reeves is averaging 40 plus points, 10 or so assists, 7 rebounds, just an absolute fantasy monster. I think it's over 60 points on DraftKings specifically that he's averaging in those 4 games. We don't know Luka's status yet for tonight. He's currently questionable, but if Luka sits, even at 9,500, I'm going with Austin Reeves. Also, the fact that it's the second game of back-to-back makes me question whether or not LeBron's going to play as well. So it could be a game where they need Austin Reeves to dominate in LA.
Reeves is an all-star.
It's
like
crazy.
without question, I think. That's all I got. Ken, do you any insights for this Lakers-Celtics game? I know the Celtics just
Well, I'll say this.
embarrassed the Wizards last night.
They did. It was, oh gosh, the Wizards were hard to watch. It was like putting your eyes towards the sun. It was, oh God, wincing. But if you're worried about Jaylen Brown, that was a baloney load management illness. He did like a 3-hour podcast the day before, video pod. He looked perfectly healthy the day before. So after that Knicks win, so I'm sure he's going to play monster minutes against the Lakers. Jordan Walsh, more from a basketball than a fantasy standpoint. My goodness, has he just blossomed the last 4 or 5 games? I want to say out of nowhere, but not really, because they benched him. They benched Minot for Walsh a couple weeks ago. But boy, is he playing confident. I don't think he missed a shot in that Wizards game. I think he might miss a shot tonight against the Lakers. I wouldn't bank on the fantasy production from Walsh, but he's fun to watch on the defensive end. But yeah, Austin Reeves, excellent point, Shannon. Should have mentioned him at the start of the show. My apologies. Bad note writing there.
Well, that just tells you how great he's been. That you're like, yeah, Reeves had 44 and 10. Obviously, what's the news? What do you mean? All right, it is time, Ken, for your old man rant.
Arg! Where am I supposed to go to watch NBA games? Amazon, Peacock, Hulu, WhatsApp, Instagram, NBA app, Disney Plus, the FU Old Man app. Where? Streaming sucks. Bring back the back button. When an ad comes on for boner pills, I want to hit the back button to some other game. But streaming has no back button. It takes like 40 minutes to go from one app to another. I don't want to download another app. I don't want to add adult diapers to my phone's shopping cart. Let me just turn on my TV, enjoy a drink, and not need a computer science degree to escape real life. Someone please simplify television. Arrgh.
First of all, love that old man rant. Very Thanksgiving was last week, and I was at my parents' house. I have a father.
That's the official day of old man rants.
He's 62 years old, and first of all, he's just had similar complaints about his remote. Why are there no buttons on this remote? What do these buttons do? That sort of a thing. But yeah, he was like, he's like, I watch like 2 NBA games a week now because I don't have all these apps. They don't have Amazon Prime or whatever. So it's just, it's tough. I agree. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I don't think we mispronounced any names. A lot of easy ones. We might want to get a double check on the Maxime Reynaud's.
Yeah, maybe.
Score 31st, Maxime. Give him the Giannis treatment. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast. It's brought to you by our friends at DraftKings, Dabble, and Sling. But don't forget, we are also a website that would like your business. RotoWire.com/subscribe. And you'll see a little box there. It'll be like, do you have a promo code? YouTube 15.
YouTube 15.
If you want to subscribe to the product, you should at least get a discount for having to look at the 3 of us for about an hour to get this information. So yeah, YouTube 15, you get premium articles, premium tools, premium the My Leagues feature, which I continue to plug. Where if you
love My Leagues,
if you're in 5, 10, 15, 45 leagues, keeper, whatever, it's the best way to know who's on your waiver wire, what the news is for all your relevant players, everything like that. All right, Ken, take us out of here.
Let's go to South Florida and Italy, molto bene, where podcast favorite Danilo the Rooster Gallinari announced his retirement after making $200 million in 14 NBA seasons. Gallinari finished his career this year by winning a championship and a finals MVP in Puerto Rico. Tim Bontemps wrote a great article on this on ESPN about Gallinari's final playing days. Why play in Puerto Rico? The Rooster told Bontemps, quote, I needed basketball. From August to February, those months when I wasn't playing, I needed it. And so it was pure joy. Until you experience it, you don't really know. And I couldn't have asked for a better experience. Arrivederci, the Rooster. You will be missed, Mr. Gallinari. Attention passengers, this 3-car fantasy train wreck has hit the end of the line.